So, the big question today is about 1 rep maxes, because there are many questions that anybody in a fitness field will get asked all of the time. And absolutely, is it protein and carbs and fats? How much cardio should I be doing? What the hell do I do when it comes to a calorie deficit? And then it's always about 1 rep maxes, or it's about range of motion. Now, range of motion is important. Intensity is important. I suppose when it comes to 4 very specific lifts, or I'm going to actually take it down to 3 very specific lifts, squats, bench press, and deadlift, people don't know whether they should be sort of aiming for a higher rep range, like you do with most things, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 14, whatever the hell you've decided to do that day. But then it never goes to like 4 to 6 or 2 to 4. It goes to 1. It goes to 1 rep max. Should I be doing 1 rep max? Should I know what my 1 rep max should be? I'm this tall and I weigh this much. How does that equate when I'm coming to figure out how strong I should be? And there's no answer to any of this. It's all how long is a piece of string. You could be 6'6" and weigh 240 pounds, but maybe you can only deadlift 100 kilograms. I don't know. There's absolutely no way of knowing, which is why, as always, boring Simon Miller catchphrases, you always just have to be in competition with yourself. That's it. Are you lifting more than last week? Are you lifting more than last year? When you look in the mirror, do you feel better? Has your body fat go down? Don't worry about Brian, Steve, Jennifer, Janet. They don't matter. None of those people matter. The only person that matters within this crazy world known as a gym is you. When it comes to 1 rep maxes, here's my opinion on it. Now, did I used to do them back in the day? Yes, I did. Especially when it came to the deadlift. Too scary when it comes to squats. Didn't want to do it. Bench press, if I had a spotter here and there. But deadlift, again, it's so easy, right? It's on the floor. It is a deadlift. The clue is in the name. You can pick it up. You can give it a go. And if you feel your back going, you can kind of just tap out of it. But actually now, with more years under my belt and never wanting to be a strong man or a power lifter, of course it's different there. And this is not the channel you should be checking out for that stuff. You should be listening to strong men and strong women and power women, because they will let you know the benefit of the 1 rep max. But in terms of just going after your more, I suppose, conservative fitness goals, or being more worried about an aesthetic look and just being more concerned about ensuring that you are progressing and that you are evolving week to week, I think you can take 1 rep maxes and you can fire them out the cannon of a window. That was gibberish which just came out of my mouth, but that's how stupid I think 1 rep maxes are. Because for starters, if you're not interested in strength and all this other stuff that we're talking about, and again, strength is a byproduct of lifting hard in the gym, but if that's not what you're entirely focused on, you're risking injury, because of course, if you're loading a barbell up with that much weight, it stands to reason that the risk is going to up. But I actually also think that you're missing out on having a more productive gym session, because I don't really do compound lifts anymore. I mean, I did a few, I do bench here and there. I kind of feel like when you do get older and you've built your base, you absolutely should be doing compound lifts if you're only just gone to the gym, or if you are a novice to moderate lifter. But eventually you do build your base and you kind of realize, oh man, I can isolate my muscle groups a bit more. And I'm actually seeing more benefits now, especially because I'm getting older and I'm more, exposed to injury and my joints start to hurt a bit more. That's just what happens, right? I don't want to be morbid here, but obviously the older you get, the closer you are to dying. So your body has miles on it. It's just the truth. There's no point pretending otherwise. So taking that out of the equation as well, I still think that people should be doing compound movements, of course, and you can still do them no matter what your age, as long as you're being safe with them. Again, I still squat and do things like this. As soon as you introduce the 1 rep max, I think you're putting your body under too much pressure. I really do. And also, if you want to look like a big jack guy and it's deadlift day, I think you're going to benefit so much more from doing 6 to 8 reps, 8 to 10 reps, maybe even 10 to 12 reps on that deadlift, on that exercise, as opposed to doing maybe 5 or 6 sets when you go 1, stop, rest for 5 minutes, 2, rest for 5 minutes, and so on and so forth. I think those extra reps are not only going to ensure that you do get better at the deadlift as the weeks and days and months and years go on, but it's going to help all your isolation movements as well. So you're probably going to be better at the squat, because the squat and the deadlift obviously have similar things. Whereas just focusing on the 1 rep thing, sure, maybe your strength will then equate to other sides as well. I just don't think it works as well. I don't, and because people keep asking me, I've decided to make a quick video about it. When I just go on a rant and a rave, I would throw it out the window, right? I would throw the baby out of the bathwater, throw your toys out of the pram, whatever cliches we can come up with here, and absolutely change to a system where you are going after those reps. Again, if you still want to go heavy, you want to aim for 6 to 8 reps, I totally understand that. If you bought into the idea where you think time under tension and trying to move into that 10 to 12 rep range is more important than you, or you've seen benefit there, I don't understand why all of a sudden you'll go do a compound movement and go, oh man, I'm changing all of this now, just because there's this weird gym bro mentality that we should be lifting super strong with all this. I do not think that's true at all, especially with something like the squat, right? So you're a donkey, you put the damn barbell on your back and you're going all the way down, you're coming all the way back up again. You don't just want to do 1 rep with a lot of weight. Take some of those damn plates off and get into that 10 to 12 range. I tell you, if you find the balance, when you get over that 10 rep range, you have to do rep number 11, you will be crying. You will be in so much agony. And that's when the mental side of the game is going to kick in. And you're going to have to tell yourself, you ain't wimping out of this. You ain't wussing out of this. You will stick by this, damn it. And you will get up there for number 11. And what loads of people do as well, myself included sometimes, because again, you do need real strong mentality with this. You know, if you really wanted to, you could get that final rep out. But what do? You just go, man, this was fine. Number 11 was fine, and you re-rack it. And do not forget, it's those last reps after you've already pulverized yourself where you really see growth, which is why I think a 1 rep max just isn't worth anybody's time. I keep saying the same thing, but I don't know how else to do it. You are losing out of all that while putting yourself, or at least while increasing your chances. Maybe a knee's going to go, maybe an elbow's going to go, maybe your back is going to go. Do you know how much it sucks when your back goes? It almost sucks as much as when your rotator cuff goes. And the only reason why the rotator cuff is even worse because it's so damn hard to fix. But I would do this across the board. So when you're doing your bench press, see what you can do with the heaviest weight within your possibility, I suppose. For that 10 reps, get to 10 reps. So when you're on rep number 9, you're holding it there, you kind of have this existential crisis. You're like, okay, well, I can go down and up again. There it is. But if I get this wrong, something bad is going to happen because the bar will get trapped here. I don't have a spotter, and I'm going to have to roll it down over my penis. That's what you have to do. Or you can try and sort of, rowboat it off you. But that never really works as well. And that's why the squat is the scariest. When you're down there, make sure you use the safety bars. Do not get included in a gym fails video. Now, it doesn't matter as long as you've done everything else right. We're always going to find ourselves in these predicament here and there. You want to push yourself with these exercises. And it's the same with the deadlift too. The deadlift is my favorite. That's the why I keep going back to it. And yes, look, one day, long time ago, when I was just eating, I try and make sure there's a picture on the screen. And I was more concerned with strength than I was anything else. I think I did, I may be exaggerating here because I can't remember, but it was either 225 or a 250 kilogram deadlift. In the grand scheme of things, not massive. In my little world, really, really impressive. And it was something I was working towards. So I did one. I bet if I watched the form now, I'd put myself in a Gym's Fails video. I went all sort of like, weary-eyed afterwards, woozy-soo, and I had to sit down. I saw the black and white spots. And again, that is going to happen here and there. It's just a rush of blood to the head. I don't think I saw as decent a progress as I did when I went down to, again, I'm making up numbers here, but maybe I went down to 200, or maybe even I dropped down to 180, and I started to ensure when I got into that 8, 9, 10 rep range, everything was just making it feel like my body was being crushed. Because I think that's when you find the actual intensity. And yes, you have to be intense when you're lifting that heavy. There are two different disciplines, and they're completely different disciplines. But I see so many people now going to the gym for the first time, and they genuinely think squat, bench press, deadlift. I would throw the shoulder press in there a little bit, but again, it is a compound movement, but not as much as the other ones. They just think they need to throw weights around as hard as they possibly can. And when you do that, your form obviously is going to fall foul a little bit, just because when something's that strong, you do have to push through. So as always, if it's working for you and all of this has been gibberish into your ears, feel free to ignore it. But for anybody out there who has for some reason been told by the internet or social media, always damn social media, cheap plug at Simon316, the compound movements have to be equated to just going all out crazy with the weights, I can promise you it's not true. I know people who have tremendous physiques, tremendous bodies, and yes, genetics come into it. And they do lift heavy, but what they really focus on, again, is that rep range, time under tension, form, and they make sure that they're intense. That's the other thing you always see in the gym, is that people go, they do 3 sets of really heavy deadlifts, again, the 1 rep max, and they're so fatigued afterwards. You watch them do the rest of their exercise, you're like, that's not going to work. Now you're just going through the motions, and you never want to go through the emotions. Do not forget, your body does not want to change. Your body wants to fight change. Be that trying to lose weight, trying to lose fat, trying to put on muscle. So you have to make sure that when you get into the crazy time, the crazy periods, you push through. And of course it's hard. Of course it's difficult. If it wasn't, everybody would doing it, even though you'll be training for 10 years and somebody will still come up to you and go, well, I don't go to the gym, but I kind of like to look like you, but bigger. And you're like, you mother hubbard, do you think I want to be bigger? Do you think I'm trying everything here? And you think you're just going to waltz into the gym and do it? And then usually they do, because these people are absolute assholes. But this... I shouldn't even say that. But this is the point, right? This is the point. Do not get sucked into this stuff. It's very much a gym bro mentality. There's ways and means to everything with the gym. You don't just have to follow even what I'm saying right now. There is not just one pathway. Figure out what works for you and keep doing that. Eventually it's going to stop working. Then try something else. Do a little bit of a tweaks. But you do not need to do this. Preservation and longevity is the most important thing in the gym. That is what I learn every single year. I get when you're in your 20s, you're desperate to see some kind of change or changes that you would like to see, but just hold off. Just be patient with it. I bet you still got a great body, even if you can't see it for yourself. And then when you get into your 30s and even your 40s, because you do have this staying power, because you kept going and you understood that it was a marathon, not a sprint, another boring cliche. All of it will eventually pay off, and eventually you'll peak in your mid-30s or whenever it is. So I just want to get it out there. You don't have to worry about it. It's not the be-all and end-all. I think now, again, using my own experience, I think a higher rep range is far more important, and I actually think you'd be better off going in that direction. But again, you got to do what is right for you. But if you want to listen to Papa Simon, and I regret calling myself that, I'm never going to call myself that again, these are my words. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Get the bell ding ding so you know when other videos are going live. There's a video right there. You see it, you're looking at it, and it's looking at you. Just give it a click. You don't want to watch it, that's fine by me. You can give it a click and leave the room. Also, GorillaMind.com/Simon. You can Simon get 10% off. Shout out to everyone that tried their brand new Gorilla Mode pre-workout, the jam flavor one, which is the strongest pre-workout I've ever tried in my life. And I was pimping this recently. People were like, Miller, you're lying. And then they messaged me going, you're not lying. It will blow your socks off. If you are not into stimulant pre-workouts, but you want to try this, do half the dose. Too many people are going one dose. Build up to it. Find out what your tolerance is. Also, patreon.com/Simon316 if you want to support me with money. Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. I got merchandise, pro wrestling tees, and Samson Athletics. They are all down there in the link. I'm on Cameo if you want a personalized message. And there's something I've forgotten, but it doesn't matter. Just interact with the video and have a good old time. Just put a smile on your face. That's what I want today. I want you to be happy. And when you go to the gym, do not be tricked by the lies of the 1 rep max. There's no lies. I just added that in, but I can do that because it's my channel. Goodbye.